one, it just kind of cracks me up. Brendan Schaub trading words with Nate Diaz. Earlier this week, Brendan Schaub, he had like a video that went viral talking about Shane Carwin's health issues. Obviously, Shane Carwin, a longtime teammate, longtime friend of Brendan, and we talked about this on the show last week a little bit. He was one of the names that came out in that UFC Antitrust lawsuit where he gave us like a signed, I can't think of the word, deposition. No, but you know what I'm saying.
He spoke.
Yeah, basically saying like, here's how this money would help me. Here's what I'm dealing with as a result of my fighting career, so on and so forth. And Brendan came out and he's like, yeah, like these things are true. Dana's talked to him. Like he's dealing with some real bad CTE shit. And then Nate Diaz was like, he posted to Twitter. He didn't say what this is in reference to, but like you could tell what it's in reference to. He said Brendan the big pussy Schaub, and he added a crying emoji because Schaub cried talking about the Shane Carwin thing earlier in the day.
Who the fuck can blame the guy for crying?
Yeah, it's like, Nate, I love you, brother. But
Did you read the comments, by the way, of like one of those posts like that?
Oh yeah, they were all ripping Brendan.
Yeah, like,
it's like, I mean, look, I'm not a Brendan Schaub guy, you know. I mean, I love the Gringo Poppy. Don't get me wrong, but I like
Tiger Thick, you know.
Oh man, what are we doing here? Am I right?
Are you Tiger Thick, Josh?
Shit, dude, I think you'd be surprised. So I mean, I love all the Schaubisms, dude. I love all the Schaubisms, but I mean, I'm not a big Brendan Schaub guy, but it's like Nate. Like if there's a time for a guy to show emotion, it's whenever his buddies
do. No bullshit. So I told you how I went down the Rich Franklin hole.
Yeah,
I fucking watched the video of Rich Franklin going on his food truck diaries. And
really?
And Rich, it was a clip. I was just watching this specific clip. It was very short. Angela Lee was there, and he was telling him, "Yeah, I went down to Evolve. I think there's a gym down there in Singapore, right?
Yeah.
And we went down there. I went down there and did a clinic, and then he's like, you and me went down there, and Brendan has no recollection of this."
Well, and you know what's funny? He said in that like long thing, talk about Shane Carwin, he's like, you know, I'm pretty lucky. I got most of my faculties with me, and it's like,
dude, I need to look it up.
I've seen some of those sets, brother.
After the show, like,
yeah, we'll talk about it. But yeah, man, I mean, Brendan responded to Nate Diaz, and then he was like, you know, I'll snap. He put like a tweet out. He's like, we'll set up a grappling match. Have your handlers read this to you and get back to me. And then he went on his podcast and he like explained more in depth. He's like, dude, Nate, like, I know that I like tell jokes and I'm a podcaster, but I was a former UFC top 10 heavyweight of the world. I will fuck you up. Ask your boys who you trained with that are bigger than you how I beat them. And it's like, and honestly, like, it's kind of like that meme, like the worst person you know has made a really good point. Like Brendan Schaub, he would absolutely fuck up Nate Diaz.
I found the clip so we can watch it afterwards.
Gotcha. Yeah, man. Brendan Schaub.
I've never seen anybody post this clip. It'd actually be kind of like good Twitter post for you.
I'll bring it up. But anyway, so yeah, man. I mean, what you kind of read on this whole thing? Would you watch a Brendan Schaub? I mean, Craig Jones said he'd book Brendan Schaub, Nate Diaz at CJ.
Dude, CGI is a freak show, anyways. Give it to me. I mean, there's legitimate good jiu-jitsu.
Oh yeah, but it's kind of a freak show still, you know?
I mean, there's some freak show. It's like Pride.
I was about to say, yeah, it's the pride of BJJ, yeah.
So yeah, give it to me. Why not?
Yeah, I'd watch that. I mean, here's the thing that I feel like...
Dude, there'd be a Habib Connor-esque brawl, dude, in the midst of that. Fucking Nate squad jumps in.
This is the issue. This is the issue that Brendan doesn't get. Brendan, you would fuck up Nate Diaz. Nate Diaz is not fight fair, brother. You're not fighting Nate Diaz. You're fighting Nate Diaz and Jake Shields. Not that that's a big deal. And Gilbert Melendez. What's he going to do? Hit you? Gilbert Melendez, and you're fighting Nick Diaz, and you're fighting Chris Avila, and you're fighting his seventh cousin from Stockton, and you're fighting fucking
Nick Maximov in there.
Yeah, Nick Maximov's there too. It's like you got
Chelsea Chandler,
and then it's like, you know, I like Brian Callen, but how much is he gonna do, man? I mean, jokes aside, I mean, Brendan, bro, you're gonna
Brian
get
Callen and Chin who help on this podcast.
Yeah, dude, you're gonna get jumped. You're not gonna fight Nate Diaz. Like nobody. But look, I'd watch that. I'd watch the shit out of that if they could book it with like both
some
guys.
Bangers on the undercard, right?
Yeah, dude, I'd watch that. MMA or BJJ, I don't care. Boxing.
There's no way they could sanction an MMA in the States.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know how big.
But if they go to Russia,
I don't know. Nate. I mean, Nate fought Jake at 190. I'm very curious to see if he cut any weight for that. You know?
Brendan's pretty big these days, though.
He is.
He's
like,
Tiger Thick, dude. I mean,
but Nate just needs
thick
to make.
Boy out here.
Nate just needs to make 207. That's all he needs to make, and he can fight with fucking
weigh in with fucking quarters in his pocket.
He's gonna have rocks in his pockets and shit. You know, do some old style
like
shit.
6 chains on.
Exactly. You know. Yeah. I mean, look. I'll say this. Good for Brendan, bro. Honestly, stick up for yourself, man. Like I've seen this man get ripped apart on the internet nonstop. For,
like this is the first time
now.
he's ever stood up for himself.
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're in school and you see like the kid getting bullied. He stands up for something. It's like, you know what? Good for you, man. You know, shit.
You go. White.
You might get fucked up, but you
go, King.
You go, Brendan. Yeah, we'll see. I don't think anything's gonna come of this, but we'll see. I mean, at most, Brendan will get jumped outside of like an event or some shit, but we'll see. I brought up the Shane Carwin UC lawsuit earlier. It's officially been finalized. So these fighters earlier this year, it was finalized for $335 million to settle not only the Kung Lee case but the Cage and Johnson case. That was fighters from 2010 to 2022, I think, who were going to get $335 million. I think that could come out to like $100,000 each.
Before or after tax? Does it get taxed?
I mean, everything gets taxed, dude. Uncle Sam's got to make their money. But I mean, I believe that's after tax. Other people have done the math. This was not a Josh thing. I'll be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
But so point being though, the Judge Boulware, said no. He's like, dude, you want to settle 2 cases with all this stuff that I've seen, and you want to send it? No, dude. Like, go back, go negotiate. So they came back. $50 million on top of that, and this would only settle 1 case, the Kung Lee case.
So they're not done. They still have to settle the other one.
Yes, correct. After this case gets done, they're going to move straight onto the Cage and Johnson case, filed by, obviously, Cage and Johnson, former UFC lightweight. And, so they're going to move on to that one. But overall, $375 million to fighters who competed from 2010 to 2017.